We are live. We are live right now. We are live and live in color. Live and live in color. Let's talk some boxing this evening. Man, we got a full load of information to present this evening. We got some entertainment this evening. We got some education this evening. We got some laughs this evening. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready. Yes, I'm in a jovial mood this evening. Welcome to the live. Come on now. Come on. Welcome, welcome. Welcome in. Salute, Omega Red. What's going on with you, brother? Salute. I see y'all. TJ Boxing and Sports. Salute. My guy. I can't do no show without this guy. Mr. Pragmatic. My man. What's up? Salute. CJ. Salute. Calvin Ringo. Salute. Brian David. Salute. Who else we got in here? Come on in, y'all. Minor 10. What's up, bro? Salute. Welcome. Welcome to the live. Welcome. Welcome. Hey, Mr. Pragmatic, real quick, Mr. Pragmatic. I'm gonna email you as soon as I'm done this live. I have something to tell you real quick, brother. I'm gonna shoot you an email. I'm just telling you that just in case I forget. So I can remind myself. Creole the Traveler, salute, greetings, greetings. Come on in, y'all. Welcome, welcome. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know exactly what it is. Let me show my face. You know, Manager Marty show face around here. Hold on, let me work on this. Hold on. Let me get this in. Yeah, I show face around here. I'm on the mobile this evening. I'm chilling right now on the mobile, so I know that I'm used to using my laptop with the 4K camera and all that, but we rocking on that mobile this evening. So I'm glad to see everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody in the chat. You know, Steppin' Chocolate Princess. Salute to you. Yes, we're going to talk a little bit about Errol Spence this evening. Absolutely. Yo, real quick, while everybody coming on in. Did y'all check out my latest interview I did on YSM Sports Media? Did some of y'all check that out real quick? I think YSM Sports Media, he posted about two or three videos so far of just in a matter of 48 hours that him and I did on when he conducted the interview with me. Did y'all check that out? If y'all didn't, go on YSM Sports Media. Not now, because I need y'all here in this live first. We got some cooking to do. And then later on, when y'all can, bounce over there, check out those two little interviews I did with my man YSM Sports Media. Um, Philly stand up, yeah, absolutely. Minor 10, we here, we in the building, man. We got some boxing to talk about this evening. We got some Adrien Broner to talk about this evening. We got some Tank Davis to talk about this evening. We have some Michael Williams Jr. to talk about this evening. We even have some Deontay Wilder to talk about this evening. We have some, I always mispronounce his first name. So I'll just say Rivera. I'll just say Michelle. Michelle. I don't want to call him Michelle. I don't think his name is Michelle. But is it Michael? Michelle Rivera? The boxer who tested positive against Frank Martin. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that this evening. You know, we got some Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence secret negotiations. That's part of the news blitz that everybody's talking about. We'll talk about that too. Salute to everybody in the chat. Who's that? Don Don Sapansky. Good evening. Welcome. Y'all know, as I always tell you all, welcome to the live. You do not have to dust your feet off when you come into the live. You don't have to ring the doorbell when you enter into the live, because my door is already unlocked and open, waiting for you to come on in. So come on in, y'all. Let's talk some boxing in a few more moments. We're going to get right into it, and salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to everyone viewing right now. If you can please Click on that like button, that thumbs up while you're entering into the live. That would be very helpful. We got a good show this evening. We have a good live that we're gonna discuss regarding some boxing, some latest news. We're gonna get right into it. Salute to who else is in here? Renaissance Dad, salute to you. Wayman Davis, salute to you. Teach, salute to you in the chat. Yes, come on in. Click on those like buttons if you can. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape Film crew, let's get right in it. Let's get right into it. Um, let's start. I don't even know where to. Man, where we gonna start at tonight, y'all? I'm on the mobile tonight, so my screen a little slim. They don't have a full. I mean, I can turn my phone sideways, but it just wouldn't look right. So I hope this is feasible for you all. The way that I'm slim right now on the screen, but y'all can see me, y'all can hear me. That's all that matters. Roll the tape. Kirk McCall, salute to you. Bobby Collins in the chat, I see you. Who that? Rello 0815, I see you. All right. Raul Garcia in the chat. He said we're gonna start with AB. So let's talk about AB. I see you in the chat about Tank and Ryan. We're gonna get to that. So let's start with AB. Okay, let's start with Adrien Broner, y'all. All right, so what do we know so far about Adrien Broner? Let's start with that interview first. I literally just saw the interview that Adrien Broner did on the Zone literally last night for the first time. I've heard people talking about it privately to me. They were talking to me on the phone about it. They didn't really give me too much intel on it because I told them, you know, don't tell me what he said before you tell me what you think about it because I want to always be objective when I'm listening to interviews. I want to always formulate my own thoughts, my own opinions, my own observations. I don't like being influenced by someone else's thought process or perspective because I always want to draw an objective conclusion. And so, let's get to that interview that Adrien Broner um did with the Zone. And I noticed something. There was three questions that Adrien Broner was asked, and he did not give definitive answers. And if you all know me, you all know that I like when people are asked direct questions. And for people that are asked direct questions, I do anticipate them giving direct answers. And when they do not give direct or definitive answers, it causes me to be suspicious of the true motive of what their answers are. And I'm gonna give you an example. Y'all remember that time when Brian Custer asked Terence Crawford? Remember he did that interview. Y'all remember that, right? When Brian Custer asked him, and I quote, he says, Terence Crawford. This is what Brian Custer said in the interview. He said, people are saying that you are going to get paid $10 million to fight David Evanesian. Is that true? And Terence Crawford did not provide a definitive answer. Terence Crawford said, and I might be misquoting him. In other words, I might not be quoting him verbatim, but what he said was, you know how it is, gotta get the money. He never answered definitively and said yes or no, because it was a closed-ended question that he was asked. And so Broner did that last night. Well, not last night, but when I saw it last night, I saw that because, as I mentioned on YSM Sports Media's channel a few months back when he interviewed me, and I'll say it live right now, I don't just listen to the words that people say. I've learned how to listen to the words that people do not say. And so the words that Adrien Broner did not say when he was asked definitive questions was about Al Heyman. And I don't know those guys' names. I got to get those guys' names. Those interviewers. I forgot their names. But one of the guys asked Adrien Broner, Are you still in communication with Al Heyman? He never said yes or no. Then they asked him about Al Heyman owing him money. Does Al Heyman owe you money? Does he still owe you money? Adrien Broner never said yes or no. They asked Adrien Broner, while you are still in communications with BLK Prime and you're fighting on their network, do you still keep in contact right now as we speak with Al Heyman? And Adrien Broner still did not give a definitive yes or no answer. Instead, though, Adrien Broner referenced that Al Heyman either still owes him money or he owed him money in the past, at least for about 6 fights, right? Salute to TJ Boxing and Sports, my guy, always supporting the channel. Thank you for your super chat. Adrien Broner did not provide a definitive answer. And he also talked about how he started off getting money from Al Heyman, and it was supposedly his money that Al Heyman was holding for him, I guess, and basically giving him a daily stipend of his own money. I'm using the word stipend respectfully, of his own money to ensure that he won't blow any of his money that he made by competing in fights. Now, I don't know what agreement Al Heyman and Broner had or have even now. But I will tell you something. If Al Heyman was doing what Adrien Broner said he was doing, Al Heyman should be applauded. I'm serious. He should. Al Heyman should be applauded because Al Heyman has done something that most people in Adrien Broner's life is not doing and haven't done yet. And that is making sure that Adrien Broner don't splendor all his money. And we've seen in the past that Adrien Broner has been very irresponsible with his finances. And it has really nothing to do with Adrien Broner not being a good person. This has nothing to do with him as a person. I'm talking about the fact that he lacks financial intelligence, and he also have displayed a lot of behavior patterns of lack of financial intelligence and basically financial ignorance. And so when I say ignorance, I'm talking about financial literacy, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew. And so if Al Heyman is helping Adrien Broner out, no matter if it's 1 fight, 2 fights, or 6 fights, with the monies that he's holding back, that's actually a noble thing of Al Heyman. In fact, Al Heyman should be applauded for it. The thing that confused me about Broner is when he was asked, does Al Heyman still owe you money? And Adrien Broner said, I'm not worrying about that. He never said yes or no, but he said, man, I ain't worrying about that because I'm a hustler. I make millions of dollars off the NBA. I'm not going to speak too much on that, but I'm a hustler. I know how to hustle. I know how to make money. I don't care about that man owing me money. Basically, is what he sounded like he was saying in essence. I don't care about whether he owe me money or not. I'm good. I'm okay. And that's kind of strange to me because if a man owe you money, you're going to do everything in your power to make sure you get your money because this is money that you have earned. Not even that, but don't forget that Adrien Broner is a father. I think he has about 5 or 6 or 7 kids, right? He has a lot of children. So if a man is withholding money from you, not only is he taking money out of your own mouth, but he's depriving you of adequately feeding and providing for your children. So with those two facts to be true, it's kind of hard for me to believe that Adrien Broner, on one end, he wants to get credit for his street knowledge his street affiliations, street credibility. But on the other hand, he's allowing another man to withhold money from him. So I would like to believe that Al Heyman do not owe Adrien Broner money. And I would also like to believe that Adrian Broner might owe him money. Because a lot of times as managers and promoters now, a lot of managers and promoters, they will basically provide what we call advances to fighters in between fights. Where the manager or promoter will basically, pay certain expenses on the fighter's behalf in exchange for basically recouping their investment or recouping, the monies that they have allowed fighters to borrow when they deduct it from their purse whenever they get opportunity to fight. That really happens. And that's been happening for many years. I'm not saying that this is happening in AB or Al Heyman's case. I'm just saying that I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case, because the relationship that they have seemed like it was a close relationship from what Adrian Broner have described in that same interview, that he's able to talk to Al Heyman like he's basically one of the boys from the block, or one of the guys who, you know, um, is in his age demographic, so to speak. So if he had that type of relationship with Al Heyman that other fighters don't, then that means there shouldn't be a problem with telling that man to give you your money. So I see a little bit of, contradictions and inconsistencies with that. Um, I have a question though in the chat. Speaking of that, why do everybody that is not with Al, let me reframe that. That's not cool. Let me make sure I'm accurate with this. How come most people who are affiliated with other boxers or affiliated with other promotional companies, how come they always saying something bad about Al Heyman, whether they did business with him in the past or not? How come they all? I'm just noticing that lately. Salute to everybody in the chat that's acknowledging me. I'm not ignoring you. Salute to you all. Okay. Why do other people that sign to other promotional companies, like certain specific fighters, like Terence Crawford, he was saying something bad about Al Heyman. Adrian Broner is making references about Al Heyman. People are spinning Deontay Wilder's words to make Deontay Wilder appear that he's saying something bad about PBC or Al Heyman. I'm just trying to figure out what is the deal with Al Heyman. Thank you, Jay Reddy in the chat. Please hit the like button. My guys in the chat, I see you. My guy, Detail Boxing. Salute to you, Detail Boxing. You all, when you get a chance, go to Detail Boxing's channel. Uh, Particularly after this live, he has some great content. Y'all go ahead and subscribe to that brother's channel. He's a good man. He does great, very intelligent man. Okay, we had him on a live. I think it probably was the last live we was on Detail. You came on, and so the it's in the chat. If it's not in the chat, it's definitely on the screen. Just wanted to put that out there. The link is on the screen, and it might be in the chat. If anybody want to join in, you know, I'm all open for you. But I just had a question on that. Why everybody keep talking about Al like that? Like, Mr. Pragmatic says they are buying into the propaganda from Golden Boy and others. Okay, that's a good answer, Mr. Pragmatic. I can see that. I can see how they can be influenced. You know, um, Big Dose 513, Manager Marty, I'ma send you a beat for your channel, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Who's that again? Big Dose 513. Yeah, send me a beat. Some of y'all don't even know I know how to rap too. I can spit too. So if you send me a beat, you might hear me go in the studio and lay something. Yeah, I ain't been in the studio in a minute. But anyway, just why? Do y'all take it as hate? Do y'all take it as people hating on Al Heyman and them? I'm just trying to understand where all of it, you know what I mean, been coming from. Um, yeah, so it just seemed like Broner was a little bit inconsistent with the things that he was saying. Now, somebody in the chat, not me, but somebody in the chat said that they believe that Adrian Broner was drunk when he did the interview. I'm not sure. He seemed like he was, regular AB to me. I don't know if he was drunk or not, but I just be trying to figure out why everybody be Why everybody be throwing shots at, Al Heyman and them? Why do everybody be doing that? Um, I can see that too. Mr. Pragmatic says Golden Boy is still salty from the lawsuit that they lost to Al. Yeah, it was a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. And I actually made reference to this in previous videos that I published. That Golden Boy definitely lost that lawsuit, and in fact, the judge said there was no evidence to basically substantiate their claims. So Al Heyman definitely won, that lawsuit. But what do y'all think about that interview that Adrien Broner did? Tell me in the chat. If you're just watching the replay of this live, tell me in the comment section below. What do you think about the interview that Adrien Broner did? Like overall, even about Al Heyman, because we want to get to some more stuff about Adrien Broner. What do y'all think about that? Talk to me about that. Because I think that Adrien Broner really, really needs intervention. He's always needed intervention. I think that Adrien Broner probably is a good guy, but he might struggle with a lot of personal things that's going on in his life. I really wish that he take heed to some of the advice that the support system in his corner gives him. And he made a reference to his mother, being an intelligent woman and, holding him accountable, right? And really trying to help him out. He made reference in that interview about uh, Kevin Cunningham, who he said knows him since he was a kid. And Kevin Cunningham is a great trainer. He's a world class trainer who trained world champions, including Corey Spinks. He's from St. Louis, so he's a good guy by all accounts. And he was pushing AB to stop partying and lay off the drinking, especially while training and getting back to being the old AB with his commitment level. So I mean, he has support systems that it sounds like he's refusing to acknowledge and listen to their advice. Um, so I mean, gambling, alcohol issues. He was very transparent, and I do agree. Renaissance Dad in the chat, I agree. I respect his transparency as well. You know, um, I mean, if I known AB or if I knew his phone number, I would actually try to help AB. Me personally, like if I knew how to contact him, what I mean, I would help him. I would do everything in my power to help him. Especially just as a man first, as a father second, and as a fighter third. You know what I mean? Um, Chris in the chat says Blue Blood said PBC did this to AB. Wow, I don't know. I didn't hear Blue Blood say that. I don't be on his channel. I don't know if he said that or not, so I can't really comment on it. But if he did say that, I don't agree with it. Even if he didn't say that, and somebody else might have said it, I don't agree that PBC did that to AB. You know, um, I don't think so. I don't think. I think AB kind of he probably did most of that stuff that he going through to himself. You know what I mean? And look, Adrian Broner had the recipe for success because he had a great team around him. I mean, think about this. AB was blessed to have Kevin Cunningham in his corner, Mike Stafford in his corner, Floyd Money Mayweather in his corner, and Al Heyman. I mean, if you got two decorated world-class trainers, an experienced business savvy man like multi-division world champion Floyd Money Mayweather, and you have management and good representation in Al Heyman, it don't get no better than that for a fighter. So I know these are self-inflicted wounds that Adrien Broner has caused on himself, but it's like, yo, this is like you had the makings of success. You know what I mean? Somebody in the Steppin' Chocolate Princess, Manager Marty, please invite D-Town Boxing again to join you during this live. I am a big subscriber to D-Town Boxing. He's always on point. Oh, D-Town Boxing, my guy. D-Town Boxing, though, anytime he want to get on here, he can jump right on here, man. D-Town Boxing is my man. So the link is right there. Anybody can jump on if you want. Link right there on the screen. I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate, but I'm just saying, AB had all of the makings of, being a successful fighter, and I'm not just talking about a world champion, you know, I'm just talking about in general, like just having all of the ingredients of being a successful superstar, a pay-per-view superstar. You know what I mean? Um, okay, I see that, Mr. Davis. He said Marcos Maidana did this to AB. Hey man, look, let me tell y'all something, right? I got this saying, and some of you may have heard me say this in the past. Boxers can take two beatings in the ring. Okay? There are times where boxers get beat up, and then there are other times when boxers get beat down. And what I mean by that is beat up is physically, where the fighter take a lot of punishment in the ring, whether they win or lose the fight, they take a lot of punishment in the ring, right? And that's physical. And they are able to recover. But then there's some other times where fighters get beat down, boxers get beat down, not just physically inside the ring, but even mentally outside the ring. And most times they never recover. So that might be a situation that's attributed to Adrien Broner because he haven't really been the same after he fought Marcos Maidana. You know what I mean? It seems like Adrien Broner is one of those boxers who, you know, probably got beat down. And this is not me criticizing AB. I'm just talking about observation, y'all. You know, I hope Adrien Broner does well in his career since he's in the latter stages. And speaking of the latter stages, that segue me into what happened with Adrien Broner now having lost three opponents. Now it's interesting to me that Adrien Broner did an interview a few months ago and he said he signed a 3-fight deal with BLK Prime. Well, it sounds like this is a deal where he already lost 3 fights. And what I mean by 3 fights, I'm talking about 3 fights that he was basically scheduled to compete in. The one with Ivan Redkach, the one with Hank Lundy as the replacement for Ivan Redkach, and then the replacement for Hank Lundy and the third opponent, which is Mike Williams Jr. Now, it has already been established that Michael Williams Jr. will not be fighting Adrien Broner this month. Matter of fact, next Saturday. Shout out to my guy, D-Town Boxing. Salute. Thank you for your super chat. And he says, salute. Thank you, D-Town. Anytime, brother. Appreciate you, man. Um, so listen, guys and ladies. This is the third opponent for that's unable to compete against AB. And once again, let me say this. Thank you, Mr. Pragmatic. I am not trashing Adrien Broner, y'all. I didn't say anything about Adrien Broner that was not factual in the last 20 something minutes. Okay. So let's be clear on that. Let's get back to Michael Williams Jr. Everybody already knows this. So let's talk about it. Michael Williams Jr. broke his jaw in 2 places. According to reports, he was in sparring. Okay. And let me be clear on that because I don't want it to sound like I'm saying that he broke his jaw intentionally. Apparently, he was sparring with headgear on, right? And somebody else, whoever he was sparring with, probably landed a few shots, maybe one shot. Sometimes it only takes one punch in boxing, and actually broke Michael Williams' jaw in 2 different places. So of course he is unable to compete against Adrien Broner. To my understanding, based on Facebook posts that I personally saw myself from his dad, Michael Williams Sr., he basically talked about firing Roy Jones Jr. away from the camp. Mr. Pragmatic, thank you for your contribution to the channel again. Thank you for your comment that says, keep up the great commentary. Thank you again, Mr. Pragmatic, my guy. So Michael Williams Sr. said that Roy Jones Jr. is not a part of their camp anymore. And people started to insinuate that that should be interpreted as it was Roy Jones's fault that Michael Williams Jr. was even sparring this heavy leading up to this fight since it's only 1 week away. We don't know all the particulars. So we can't assume anything. We don't have any receipts and evidence. I can't roll the tape. The only evidence we have for me to roll the tape on is the documentation, paperwork, and the x-ray photos that Michael Williams Sr. posted on social media. And I've seen them myself personally through Facebook. And it's unfortunate. So the question becomes, should Adrien Broner have to sit this fight out, or do BLK Prime try to find another opponent for Adrien Broner in a matter of 1 week? What do you all think in the chat? Let's talk about it right now. What do you all think in the comment section below? Let's talk about it right now. And speaking of the comment section below, I welcome all of you that's watching this live on a replay. I welcome all of you that's viewing me right now in this live. We are live in living color. I encourage you to click on that, camera right here. Click on that like button. Come on in. Come on in. You do not have to dust your feet off when you enter my live, and you do not have to ring the doorbell because the door is unlocked and is already open because you are welcome. Okay? Somebody just said this in the chat. Baz, B-A-S-Z. Blue Blood is live saying Broner is being froze out. I don't know if Blue Blood said it or not. I'm not going to comment on that guy. If he said it or not, I don't have no receipts on that. But if Blue Blood is saying that, I would have to disagree. And even if Blue Blood himself is not saying that, maybe if somebody else is saying it, I don't agree that Adrien Broner is being froze out. And now we're going to dive into the business perspective on all of this so that we can come full circle on why we are here with Adrien Broner and why I say I don't think he's actually getting froze out. Now, the thing about it is this, that all of these things started to occur with regarding to Adrien Broner not getting the fight yet ever since he left PBC. That's interesting to me. Some people may call that karma. I don't know, but I'm just saying, remember, Adrien Broner had an opportunity to fight on PBC, right? And he said that he had mental health issues. Remember that? Y'all remember that, right? Okay, and then weeks later, he does an interview stating he's with BLK Prime. So, but these things that are occurring are beyond Adrien Broner's control. So if people are saying he's being froze out intentionally, like somebody's like trying to prevent him from fighting, I can't fully agree with that because the things that's happening to Adrien Broner are not in or haven't been in his control. And before we get to the business perspective of it, I have a guest, I think it's Randy Smith. Hey Randy, I see you. I see you in the back. You know how we do. I will. Oh, I was about to say, show your face, brother. I'll let you on. Give me 1 second, Randy. Let me drive this point home, and I'll bring you right on. Um, so the thing about it is, you know, Adrien Broner is going through these things with him not getting in the ring, competing. These are things beyond his control. So when someone says he's being froze out, I don't care who's saying it. I need you to produce evidence to substantiate those claims. Because the last time I checked from a business perspective, right, it looked like Adrien Broner was supposed to fight Ivan Redkach. And it also looked like Adrien Broner did a press conference with Ivan Redkach. And it also looked like somebody didn't do their due diligence on the business side because he already had an obligation to a promoter, right? And those are things that you're supposed to check out as a promoter and business person on the other side of the table. We call it in business due diligence to make sure that all of the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed when you are hiring a fighter to render their services. In other words, is they don't have any attachments or obligations to other fighters. Okay. Um, so Caldwell 22 says, at manager Marty, I heard you the one who ran my senile granddad off the YouTube streets at Blue Blood Sports TV. I don't know what you mean, brother. or sister. I don't know what your gender is. I don't know what you mean by that, but um, okay. So basically, um, Caldwell 22 says at Manager Marty, I got beef with you. I don't know why you got beef with me, but you know, you know what we do on YouTube, right? Yeah, I know I'm still a rookie on YouTube, but I learned one thing about beef. When somebody's live and they post a link, you know what you do with that beef. You press that link, come on in. Yes. Let me get this super chat. I'm gonna invite the guy Richard Smith on. Matthew Thomas, thank you for your contribution and always supporting the channel. Thank you so much. Matthew said, Manager Marty, man, it's been a minute. Glad to have caught up. Roll the tape, my guy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Richard Smith left me. Dang, my fault, Rich. Come on back in, Rich. If you're listening, come on back in. I got you. I just wanted to drive certain points home so I wouldn't lose my train of thought, all right? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, it was sarcasm. My fault, Caldwell 22. I got it now. Oh, okay. The pressure you was putting on him with the previous videos you uploaded. Oh man, look, man, I don't want no problems with nobody, man. You know, it is what it is, Caldwell. We don't have to rehash what happened with me and Blue Blood. You know what I mean? That's why I told y'all, listen, go check out my interview that I did on YSM Sports Media the other night. You know what I mean? Like I said on that video, ain't no beef. It's all good. Ain't no problems here. You know what I mean? Ain't no beef. Everything's all right. To my understanding, it's squash. All right, listen, y'all. Oh, I called him Richard. My fault. His name is not Richard, ladies and gentlemen. So I apologize. His name is Randy Smith, and he wants to come on the channel here. Hold on. Let me try to get you on. Let me try to get you on here, brother. Hold on. Okay. So basically, Randy Smith. Oh, Caldwell 22
Yes,
says
sir.
at Manager Marty, I got beef with you. I hear feedback, brother.
How about now? I had you
Oh man,
on two I had you on two on the computer. It was on two different
I got
feeds
you.
there.
I got you. Hey, what's
How's
up
it
with you,
going with
Randy Smith? How you doing today, man?
man? I'm all right. I'm all right. I was just sitting here listening, and I've been watching you for a while, and I know you deal with anger, man. Those my guys. But you was talking about Adrien Broner and Al Heyman. I just want to chime in on it with you.
Okay, yeah, come on in, brother.
My thought with Al Heyman, first of all, it's almost like when somebody don't know something, they always speak the worst. And since Al Heyman don't make his presence known and don't really care what you got to say about him, so you kind of make up things along the way. And then you develop all these allies like these things up. Since I'm making these things up, it's other people out there feel the same way. So all of them got the same mutual enemy or got it they don't like in common. So that's how he get all. I think that's how he get all his feedback, and everybody's talking about him. But seem like to me, it's more people happy with what he do than don't like what he do, I should say. So I think that's all that is, man. It's just underlying hate. That's all. You know what I mean? Almost like the Masons. I don't know if y'all had the Masons where you at, but almost like the Masons. If you're not a Mason, you speak of them like Illuminati or something. You know what I mean? If most people, because I'm not a Mason, so I don't know what's there. But they so secretive till people be like, oh, they got to be up to something because don't nobody know what they doing. You know what I mean? So I think that's the same thing with Al Heyman. Okay, I'm gonna move on to Adrian Broner. I always had this thing for Adrian, man, in Chi-Town and KQKC. All of them get on me about Adrian because I just Adrian. I don't know what it is about Adrian. I always liked Adrian, and but true enough, I think Madonna was the one that took his soul, man. For whatever happened in that fight, man, whether he cheated or what, but it did something to him. And ever since then, he wouldn't release his hands. I think, and I made the same analogy with Timothy Bradley. I sent out an interview with Timothy Bradley. He said one reason he got out of boxing, and if I sent it to you if you want to see it, but he said one reason why he got out of boxing was because he had got to the point that he was scared he was going to get hit. He was scared if he hit the guy, he was going to hit him. Mike Tyson said the same thing. So I think that's what's wrong with Adrian. He's afraid that if he let his hands go, something comes back. So it's better for me to play defense than it is to open up, to take what's coming back, because I might not be able to handle it. Like I said, Mike Tyson said the same thing. Mike Tyson said he was in a club one night and a guy stepped on his shoe, and he was like, the old Mike Tyson would have just beat him up right there. You know, but then the guy asked him, well, why didn't you? He said, because I was afraid that he might hit me back. This was the interview. I bring that up. I'll show you that one too. But far as how he act outside the ring, now I think that's a whole different animal. I think Adrian ended up being a child, like almost like a child star. He was young when he got his success. He got a lot of money when he was young. And what do children do with money when they're young? They blow it. But what happens after the sitcoms go away and nobody's ringing your door anymore? You feel what I'm saying? Do you do like the little girl off Family Matters that went upstairs and you never seen her again, and the next time you seen her, she was on porn? You know what I mean? So I think Adrian in a situation right now, like some of us, for some of us, living our life, it's hard to live our life because we don't want people in our business. And the little few people that's in our business, it irritates us and bothers us. But to be on a massive scale like Adrian Broner, people know you broke. People know you having alcohol issues. People know you and your old lady getting into it. People know you ain't getting along with your children. That's already hard enough. But for the whole world to see it, that's a whole different ball game. So I think he stayed drunk, high, whatever he's doing, to kind of know the pain, because reality is setting in for Adrian. I think boxing is almost over for Adrian. He gonna have to get a job. He might not be able to handle getting a job. You feel what I'm saying? Because he still think he's Adrian Broner, the Adrian Broner we know. So getting a job for him might be hard, man, because for us, we lose a job, we go to the next. I mean, it ain't no issue. You know, we go from $15 an hour to $13 an hour, from $13 an hour to $16 an hour. You know, it really doesn't matter. You feel what I'm saying? But for you to go from Mercedes and Rolls Royce and eating at the finest restaurants to having to watch what you spend, and then you on a job and people are like, aren't you Adrian Broner? I thought you had money. You know, so I think that's what it is, man. I don't mean to come on and just talk your ear off, man, but you know, I think that's what's going on with it, man. I really think that's what's going on with it.
Let me ask you this question, because what you're saying basically is the concept that I presented a few minutes before you came on, was that some fighters, they get beat up and then other fighters get beat down mentally outside the ring after they take a lot of punishment inside the ring. Do you think that Adrian Broner mentally, in your opinion, based on your observation and some of the things you've already observed, do you think that Adrian Broner can actually mentally commit to doing 3 fights in 1 year?
He's gone. He's a shell of himself. He's gone. I looked at a video, and I like I said, I showed it to Chi-Town and Underground, and Mike, and I even mentioned it to OG because I'm real cool with OG. And I shared it with OG. The video where Adrian Broner was going to train, and him and his partner was together, and Adrian had to use the bathroom, so they stopped at 7-Eleven, whatever. And I looked in his eyes, man, and I came back and told those guys, I say, Adrian has a mental problem. He's probably, is it schizophrenic? Bipolar. I think Adrian probably is bipolar. Adrian has a real mental problem. I don't know if boxing did it to him, or I don't know if it's just life. You know what I'm saying? Because having money, having talent, and all that, it doesn't isolate you from human problems. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, I mean and I know some things I say people might take offense to it, but it's just true. Some like Michael Jackson. You never heard about Michael Jackson messing with men. You never heard about Michael Jackson messing with women. You only heard about Michael Jackson messing with little boys. Just because he got money doesn't mean he's not a pedophile. You feel what I'm saying? That didn't escape him. So I'm saying that to say the same thing about Adrien. Just because Adrien was a great boxer and he had money doesn't mean that pushes the bipolar. You know what I mean? So I think he just got a mental problem, man. I think Adrien's just crazy. And I don't think he can do 3 fights.
Understood. Well, let me just clarify this. Um, the views that you express and your opinions that you express are not the same views and opinions that we're saying on this channel. I'm not
Yeah,
saying that Adrien Broner has a mental problem or not. I'm not a mental health professional.
yeah.
I do not personally believe that Michael Jackson did anything wrong with little boys. And I don't know if Broner is bipolar or not, but I do know that Adrien Broner needs a lot of intervention to help him out with some of the issues that he openly expressed that he actually has, like alcoholism and different things that, of that nature. And so we'll have to see, because February is here. We're still in the beginning part of this year. He doesn't have an opponent as of right now that I know of. Things can happen within the next 2 or 3 days. We've seen that happen with Anthony Joshua in about a week or so. They made a phone call and had Andy Ruiz come right in as a last minute replacement. And I mean, unfortunately for Anthony Joshua, he lost that fight in dramatic fashion. Not speaking that on AB, I'm just saying that they got a few more days if they really want to put some money up and find a reputable opponent for him. If not, he probably won't be able to fight on his card. Nonetheless, we're still early in the year. So if he does have the mental fortitude to compete, he has to compete real soon if he doesn't next weekend to fulfill that 3-fight deal that he claimed that he signed with BLK Prime. So we'll have to just see if he's going to make it out throughout this year. And we're rooting for Adrien Broner. At least I am on this channel. I want all the fighters to do well. And so even if he does have the problems that you're saying, hopefully he can get some intervention and hopefully he can compete. And if he can't compete and it's over, hey, he has to accept that, hey, it's over. Because every fighter has that day where it's like, it's over. They have to accept that. But sometimes when fighters still have a name and they can sell a little bit more tickets, sometimes they kind of push the urge to still go out there and compete when they know they really can't, so that they can earn a living. So that they won't have to do what you said, go get like a regular 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Because most of these boxers, they've been doing it since they were little kids. That's kind of like the only profession they really know. You understand? If they don't have any investments and things, to really secure them, after boxing. Few last words. If you have a few last words before I let you go, Mr. Smith, speak to the people, man. A few last words. What you got
But
for us?
for the record, man, I'm one of Broner's biggest fans, man. I like AB. But I love boxing. So I had to kind of put my personal feelings aside, and I had to call it as I see it, if I was calling it on somebody else. So when I say something about a boxer, it ain't personal. It ain't never personal. Um, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, you might help me out with this. I think Adrien Broner said that BLK Prime allowing them to pick their own fighters. Because I think he
Yeah.
said something to the effect that Al Heyman would pay you, but he wants you to fight King Kong, which means to me that Al Heyman will pay me, but he want me to actually have to fight. He want me in a 50-50 fight. He want me in an interesting fight that I might lose, or I don't have, you know what I mean? So with BLK Prime allowing them to choose their own opponents, I'm trying to figure out who does this fall back on? You feel what I'm saying? It's like, do we find you an opponent, or do you find your own opponent, or are you still getting paid? You feel what I'm saying? I'm kind of confused with with this whole thing. And by you being in the business, have you ever experienced a situation where a fighter is finding his own opponents? Like, I mean, I don't know.
Well, we've seen it twice already. We've seen Terence Crawford choose his own opponent, and the reason why I say that is because according to Neil Marsh, who is David Evanesian's manager, he was on an interview, and I heard him, and I published this on my channel. That was the same interview where he said the deal was done within 48 hours. And the reason why the deal was done so fast, according to Neil Marsh, is because Terence Crawford and Top Rank been trying to get David Evanesian to fight Terence Crawford when he was with Top Rank. So I can see Terence Crawford maybe tapping somebody over there at BLK Prime on the shoulder and say, hey, I got a very easy opponent I know I can beat. Let's call him. I can see Adrien Broner following the same blueprint, because the same blueprint did happen where Adrien Broner was already in the works of fighting Ivan Redkach before the pandemic happened when he was with PBC, right? And because that didn't happen, I can see him tapping them on the shoulder over there at BLK Prime saying, hey, I got an easy opponent. I got an opponent I can beat. I got an opponent who's not African American, because he's going to drive more of the revenue with his fan base from his country. The same guy that I was going to fight anyway before the pandemic. Ain't no different than Terence Crawford, what he did for fighting David Evanesian. You know what I mean? So I can see that. But if you look at it, if that's what's happening, you know that's never going to end well when fighters start becoming matchmakers for themselves when they don't understand the business side of how the sport of boxing actually works. So I don't know if that is the case, but even if it is the case, we've seen it already that it didn't work out fairly well for Adrian Broner thus far if he is choosing his own opponents. Because if you go back and look at Hank Lundy and Ivan Redkach situation, they both were already obligated to a promoter. And when I say obligated, I'm talking about in a contractual agreement. So you can't have them fighting on other people's, network, and they're fighting on other people's network, and they're not fulfilling their original obligation to the promoter. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
if they are choosing their own opponents, that goes to show you right there, this is one of the reasons why it's not working. And this is one of the main reasons you have to be licensed and certified in this business to be able to matchmake, because the promoters hire matchmakers for this very reason. Good question.
I just want to say, man, because like I said, I enjoy your show, man. And when I first seen you say roll a tape, roll a film, I was like, I'm glad somebody out here is doing that, because it makes it makes the content creator accountable. It makes them accountable, because you don't have to lie. You don't have to go back and forth. You said this. And that's what I'm asking you about. You feel what I'm saying? Man, my hat goes off to you, brother. My hat goes off to you, because it make enemies, but who cares? But my hat goes out to you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep it going in the direction your heart tells you to go in. And if you hear something and it's not right, I mean, speak on it, because a lot of times these content creators, they bank on the fact that they're in front of the camera talking, and can't nobody really talk back to them. Can't nobody really ask them questions and hold their feet to the fire. You feel what I'm saying? And what you doing, oh, that's D-Town. I watch your show too,
Come on,
D-Town.
hey Smith, I gotta
I'm
get
sorry.
D-Town on, bro. You trying to take up
I'm
D-Town
sorry.
time, bro?
I'm sorry. I get the man on there, man, because he a bad
I'm
boy.
messing with
He
you.
a bad boy.
I,
I like to see him cook. You need to do a live show, D-Town, so I can come check you out. All right, man. I'll holler at y'all. Hey, I'm about to get we about to get a channel started. We in the makings. My man, Angry Man Greg from Angry Man, he helped me put it together. So I'll be joining y'all, fellas. Me,
all right, come on
Chi-Town,
up.
Underground, and Mike 202.
Come
So
on
we'll
up.
be all right, man. I'll holler at y'all. Listen to y'all
Hey,
cook.
Randy,
So
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Keep us posted, brother, so we can, come and support you on your channel, my brother.
For sure. We'll do it, man. All
All right,
right,
you
we'll
got a
holler at
salute
y'all.
to you, my brother.
All right.
Hey, D-Town, give me 1 second. Let me get Marty Yoel. Thank you for your super chat, Marty. I appreciate you. Shout out to Cincinnati. I saw somebody from Cincinnati, Ohio, in the chat. Salute to you. Um, all right, so we got my guy right on here, y'all. Listen, he's back by popular demand. They've been calling for you in the chat, bro. And we got my guy D-Town Boxing. The floor is yours, baby. Come on, start cooking for me.
You know what, Manager Marty? Like I said, I appreciate you. I seen the video that you had did on YSM Sports Media. I did a small video on it, and people don't realize how hard it is. Well, it ain't hard to tell the truth. It's just that you have so many people who rather believe a lie than the truth. And it's very few channels out there that's gonna keep it real, no matter what the people say in the comments. And that's what one guy had asked me in my comments. He said, "Man, how do you?" He said, "How do you put up with these people in your comments who believes anything? Like, what do you do?" And I pray to God, man, and ask God to give me strength. I said, because I'm gonna tell you just like this. I'm human just like anybody else. I have feelings just like anybody else. But I got to tell people, you have to appreciate channels like Manager Marty, which, you know, that video I seen today with you and YSM Sports Media, it took me back when I first seen your channels, well, actually not your channel, but when you was in the interview with him, and I first seen you and you was talking about Terence Crawford and different things. And when I seen you, I'm like, man, this man right here is like a dang diamond in the rough. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all have a channel that you subscribe to, you have to appreciate that, because there's a lot of people out here telling lies, and it's hard, you know what I'm saying, for the content creators to go find information, because we have to search for these things. When we search for these things, we try to put in a small video so people can understand it in a small video. So that's why I say, Manager Marty, I salute to you, because you know the ins and outs as far as business wise. And if anybody have any questions about business, they can, you know, get in contact with you, or email it, or even go into your channel and ask you. So we have somebody, because at first people thought that I don't want to say his name, you know,
You can say his,
the
hey man, you can say his name. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing. You can say his name, bro. I'll
Blue
say it for you.
Blood.
I'll say it for you. Blue Blood Sports TV. All right. Yeah, I'll say it for you.
You know, and people, you know, looked at Blue Blood like he had all the information, but then when you came on the scene, you actually clarified a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, that he wasn't privy to far as getting his information. And you know this. You're not just saying that you got this, you have the actual credentials to back up what you're saying. And actually, you've been interviewed by many people. I just seen you took a picture with that young lady when she had won that fight. You took a picture with her standing beside her,
Ooh.
the little lady who fought not too long ago and knocked the lady out in a lower weight class in boxing.
And Alicia Bumgardner.
I think that's her, because you had a picture of her laying on a yacht, like in a bathing suit or something like that. But
Oh yeah, Alicia Bumgardner. Yes.
yes,
I'm me and her promoter is really cool.
yes, and you
Yep.
really doing your thing, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, you are actually doing your thing, and you actually showing the people that you are able to do this thing. It's not people just talking about it and people assuming. You actually showing the people that you are about this, and people should appreciate that they could go to somebody and watch somebody who are actually going to give it to you authentic instead of their opinion.
Yep. Very well said, man. Listen, I'ma always keep it real. I said this to you. YSM Sports Media knows me. The same Marty I am on YouTube. I'm not fake, man. You know, like you said, I'm a man of faith, man. I believe in God. I ain't gonna be fake. I'm always have integrity. I make mistakes. You know, I'm not perfect, but for the most part, when I get on this camera, when I speak something out my mouth, I make sure it can be verified. I'm not gonna lie to the people, act like I'm embellishing myself, like I'm big time and all this nonsense, because it's not important to me. I'm not worried
Yeah,
about fame and man, all that stuff's not even important, man. You know, like I always say, if I can tell somebody something, at least one thing, and only one person takes something what I say and they learn something, I'm satisfied, bro. I'm cool with that, man. You know what I mean? That's all right with me. And I think that people start embracing authenticity and things that are organic when they start hearing the difference between truth and falsehood. You know, like I said before, it's something that God put in all of us, whether people believe in God or not. He instills something in all of us called discernment. Now we have to learn how to cultivate and tap into it, But we have this thing in us that can identify when we hear something that's true, we know it's true. We may not accept it right away. We may not agree with it right away, but we know it's true. And when something is a lie, it might sound like the truth at first, but then somewhere down the line, it's going to be exposed and the truth is always going to be revealed.
I had a guy on my channel. He was a Terence Crawford fan, and like I tell people, I used to be a Terence Crawford fan before I was an Errol Spence fan. So people that say, "Well, you just Errol Spence because you from Texas," no, because I met Errol Spence. Man, he was chilling on the back of a truck for hours. We was at a dog where you train dogs, and I was a decoy, so I actually have to put the coat on, let the dog bite you and stuff like that. And me and Earl Spence was, I got a picture, but me and him was chilling on the back of a truck for maybe like 4 or 5 hours and stuff like that. And we were just talking about all kind of things. But I'm not an Earl Spence fan because I live in Texas. I said I'm an Earl Spence fan because he kept it real. And once I seen that Terence Crawford started doing shady things, I couldn't ride with that. So it's not that I'm from Texas and Crawford's from Omaha. It don't have nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder, I'm his fan, and he's not from over here. He's from Alabama. So, I mean, it don't have nothing to do with where a fighter's from. It's just the point is that the fighter have to keep it real. And when I see something that's not real, I can't follow that.
I totally agree with you. And now that I got you on here, let's segue into this. What do you think about Tank Davis? Right now, of course, we already know that he has pled guilty to the 14 charges. Most people are not reporting how many charges, but it's actually 14. I've conducted my research. It's 14 charges that he's being charged with because 4 of those charges are separate charges. However, it's the counts because it was the amount of people. I think it was 4 people, and one of those passengers that were injured was a pregnant woman. I can't say allegedly because he already pled guilty. Now, had he not pled guilty, I would say allegedly, but he pled guilty, so I don't have to say allegedly. He admitted some form of responsibility. So, according to his plea, Tank Davis, he was coming out of a club at over, I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, around 2 o'clock in the morning. He may or may not have been intoxicated. We don't know yet. But he actually came out. He got into his Lamborghini and he was driving. He ran a red light and his Lamborghini made contact with another vehicle that had multiple passengers in it. I see someone in the chat that says he pled to 4 and they dropped 10. So I see multiple people saying that he only pled guilty to 4 counts. Okay, fine. I'm glad to hear that. Not glad to hear that he's guilty. I'm glad to hear that someone is reminding me that, hey, he actually pled to 4 of the 10. Um, so he made contact. The people were injured. Now he fled from the Lamborghini. He left the Lamborghini there. This is not hearsay. They have him on a video camera, getting out of the Lamborghini and actually running towards a car that I think was driving behind him. Of course, he knew the person. He jumped in that car and he fled the scene. According to the state of Maryland's vehicular laws, you cannot flee the scene of an accident. That's number one, and that's probably nationwide. But if the passengers that you made contact with are injured, you have to try to render first aid if possible, or at least at the bare minimum, pick up the phone, call the ambulance. Of course, he wasn't there to do that. The part that's making me concerned, even if he pled to the 4 out of the 14 that they dropped to 10 charges, is the fact that he actually pled guilty and was convicted back in, I think, 2019. April of 2019, I believe. Was it April of 2020? It was one of either 19 or 2020. It was April of 2020. It was April of 2020 because he actually got pulled over for speeding and he was driving with a suspended license. And so they gave him a slap on the wrist. 7 months later, in November of 2020, this occurrence happens. And of course, his license was still suspended. So I'm saying all that to say that the maximum penalties for these charges, and remember the sentencing guidelines nationwide is this your first offense? We have to consider the fact that if you've done this in the past, that has to be to your detriment as well. With all the information that you've learned, D-Town, what do you think about all of this with Tank Davis?
I think he's gonna have to take responsibility of what he did, even if that's called jail time or probation or whatever it might be. I mean, I know these guys are young. I know this. I mean, but at some point, these young fighters or whatever need to separate themselves from certain people. And I know it's hard for them because they wants to be in that vibe or whatever. But I mean, Tank Davis seen other people like Adrien Broner and other guys who had went down that road, and you would think that sometimes people would learn from that. Like me, I learn from things I see in other people's life. Like I don't have to go and do this and do that to learn from it. I can see it happen in somebody else's life and learn from it. You know what I'm saying? Like that, that's okay. But and like I said, I understand that he's young. I understand these kids want to go out and party and all that, but he gonna have to take responsibility, whatever it is. So I
Yeah,
mean, I'm not under. I mean, it's sad to see that it happened, and it's sad to see, that he's a repeat. And I can say, I know, like you said, we're not perfect, but I mean, but we have to learn at some point that we can't keep going down the same path because being a habitual criminal don't do nothing but hurt you even more. And I was I've been locked up myself, so I mean, I know, but it's gonna be hard for these guys to deal with jail. I know these guys, they say I'm a boxer and I go hard and all this and I whoop anybody, but when you go to jail, you separated from everybody that you know, and now you're around a whole bunch of other people who you really don't know. So he's gonna have to at the end of the day, he's gonna have to take responsibility for his actions.
oh yeah, totally agree. The part that's kind of baffling me about this, because of course celebrities are um they are human, and at this point, by Tank Davis pleading guilty, he took some form of responsibility. The part that's baffling me is the fact that he was driving on a suspended license, and with the amount of money and resources that he actually have, even if he decided to take a couple of sips in the club or a lounge and drink, he has enough monetary resources. He can actually buy himself a driver or a Lyft, Uber, a family friend, put them on payroll, so that they can actually have a legitimate job and be his driver when he's going to certain places like this, where he's not going to be responsible enough to drive for himself, especially with a suspended license. Is it a thing where, hey, I'm a fighter, I got money, it is what it is? Where do you think the attitude may have come from?
I think at that moment, and I done seen it many times with different other people. Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. Nah, I don't need nobody to drive for me. I got this, man. Move to the side, man. You tripping, man. I'm good. But the whole time you not good. So in his mind, he probably don't want nobody to drive him around. And we have seen people drive Tank Davis and many of these guys around. But just at that point, he probably don't feel like, because before he went to the club, I don't know. He probably, he wasn't drunk or anything. So he went to the club, chilling, doing whatever he doing in his Lamborghini. After he got drunk, he probably don't want nobody to take him home. He probably wanted to drive his own Lamborghini home and say, I'm good. People probably told him he was drunk. I mean, I don't know. They might have told, hey, man, look, don't do that. Nah, I'm good, man. Them dudes be hot-headed. So, I mean, I don't know. But like you said, if you know you're going to the club and you know that you drink and you do these kind of things, why drive your Lamborghini when you could just ride with somebody?
Yeah, facts. Facts. That's true. And somebody in the chat said that driving on a suspended license doesn't make you a criminal. But even if it doesn't make you a criminal, it's still unlawful, which means that he has done things in the past to get his license revoked or suspended in the first place. So having the resources to be able to have a driver, or have, you know, hey, I'm gonna ride with a friend, or get an Uber or Lyft or whatever the case is. There were other alternatives. The point that I'm making, and the point that you're making too, detail. There were alternatives to be able to say, look, man, I ain't got to drive, and the Lamborghini is very fast and can be very uncontrollable. And we saw that if like you said, D-Town, you learn from other people's mistakes. And we all saw what happened to Errol Spence Jr. when he was coming out of the club intoxicated and he was driving that fast car, and we seen what happened to him. Thank God that he didn't, sustain any life-threatening injuries or even a fatality on his own life. But Tank Davis could have saw that and was like, I'm not doing that, So it's all about, like you say, learning from our mistakes and learning from other people's mistakes as well. And hopefully this situation, whether he does prison time or not, and I hope he doesn't do prison time, because there was not a fatality, thank God, with the injured passengers. But he learns from this. He learns from this. Also, he also has another lawsuit. Most people may not know this, but it's public record. He has a lawsuit that was filed last month against him for a condominium or an apartment complex by a management company for over $18,000. And his court case is at the end of May for that case. Hopefully he's able to settle and pay whatever the situation is. And that's over in Maryland, even though he lives in Florida. But he had open cases, it's like, it comes to a point where you make a lot of money. You have to have the right people around you too, to not be yes sir men, and say, look, man, we got to build a staff around you. And I think I saw him with a security detail, not that day. I'm just saying in general, I've seen him in passing on TV. He had security detail with him. I don't know if he had security detail with him that night, but I'm just saying, like, it's okay to get security detail and pay people to prevent situations like this from occurring. Even the situation where he had that physical altercation with that woman. I think that's the first mother of his child or whatnot. And, you pay people to make sure that they insulate you from having these type of lawsuits, because you're the money guy. You pay everybody bills. So everybody got to protect the bag, as we say. And hopefully he, he learned from his mistakes, man, and grow. We all fall short of the glory of God, and we all sin. But at the same time, we got to learn our lessons. I always tell people this, man. Life is about the 3 L's. Somebody asked me one day, they said, Marty, what do you do for a living? I said, I live life. I know they would ask me about like an occupational question, but I said, I live life because, life is about 3 L's. Life is about learning, it's about living, and it's about loving. And if you're not doing those 3 things, you're just not existing. You're just walking around here aimlessly. But, once you're doing those things in life, when you learn, when you live, meaning that you are learning from the lessons that you have gone through in your life and you've seen other people go through them, and then loving. I said this when I was going through that situation, with Blue Blood Sports TV. And I say this in my personal life. How you treat other people is based on, some things you might be going through, but your blessings from God come through how you treat people. You can't talk to people a certain way. You can't do people a certain way. You can't do people dirty. You can't be disrespectful to people. You can't demean people. You can't rob people and steal from people. It's just certain things that we have to love each other as neighbors. And it doesn't matter race, creed, sexual orientation, sexual preference. None of that stuff even matters. What matters is that we're human. We are the human race, and we got to treat each other with respect, man. So that's how I condense what life is all about. You know what I mean?
Me, I do construction, and we built the Dallas Cowboys Stadium in Blue Star. And I'm a foreman, so I'm a boss, and I have people work up under me. And no matter if a guy just got hired on at the company where I work, and I also do side work too. I have my own business. And even if a rookie comes and get hired at the company, I treat that man with respect. No matter if he don't know anything, I treat him with respect. I show him, like I said, I'm a godly man. I don't give a care if it's a kid that's 18 years old. I treat him with respect, because if you give respect, you get respect. And that's the way I was learned. So back for us, got Terence Crawford. I seen your interview that you did, and me, far as the Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, what you said in that video made a lot of sense. That them guys need to put something in place, for both parties to be able to understand that it's not going to be somebody trying to pull out of the fight to go fight somebody else, and then if they could get that took care of, then it's a possibility that they might get that fight, in 2023.
Man, I can't wait. I hope it happens. And to me, I don't think personally that they're in a secret negotiation. I don't believe that personally because I always stood by the fact that Terence Crawford has shown me in his body language, the words that he did not say, and even the words that he did say, that he really basically don't want this fight. But my thing is, if they are negotiating, they have to put something in writing right now. There's no point of waiting till the end, like you just said, where somebody can pull out. We don't want to do this to the fans. And speaking of Terence Crawford and Spence, I'm going to let the cat out the bag because I will be on Knockout Boxing TV. Knockout Boxing TV this coming Thursday. Well, technically next Thursday on the 23rd. I was invited to debate someone who was asking me all these questions on his panel. I don't know why the guy is ready to commit suicide. I don't know why he's ready to do that. But I got something for him, brother. And so yeah, so I'm going to be debating this guy, and I think his name is Terence. Terence Share Videos. Don't quote me on that, but I know his first name is Terence on his channel. But I was asked that I want to debate him. He was asked that he wanted to debate me. He said yes. I'm like, well, what you would? I ain't gonna back down from it. So I'll be on his channel, Knockout Boxing TV next Thursday. And we're going to be debating about the Terence Crawford and the Errol Spence ordeal of who ducked who, guaranteed persons. We're going to talk about it all. And I can't wait. And you actually segue me into promoting that because I was going to wait to the end when you brought up Crawford and Spence. And speaking of Crawford and Spence, I have a question for you. What do you think will happen with Crawford now? Let's say he will go and secretly negotiate with Spence. Where do you see his career at, like right now in this moment?
You talking about before, like right now, not if he's trying to negotiate with Errol Spence.
No, right. Like not negotiating with Spence. Like right now, let's say he's not negotiating with Spence privately. He needs a fight. Where do you see his career going? Like next person he want to fight? What you think?
It's going to be another C-level fighter. That's what it's going to be. I mean, I actually think that his career is at a standstill. I don't think he can do anything, better for his career. That's why I made a video yesterday saying that Errol Spence will be remembered more than Terence Crawford. And the reason why I made that video is because I told him as a fan point of view that fans don't talk about weight division. Fans don't talk about who had a shiny WBC belt or a WBA belt or IBF. We talk about the fighters who fought one another, that fight that had me on the edge of my seat. I said, I ain't seen nobody get overwhelmed talking about, oh, man, at 130, man, that was clean. We ain't talking about 130 or 135, 140. We talking about the actual fight. Like when Floyd Money Mayweather, I told them, some people don't even know that he started at, I think, at 130. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people can't even name the belts that he had. We can tell you he fought Ricky Hatton. We can tell you he fought Manny Pacquiao. We can tell you he fought Berto. We can tell you he fought Zabzula. We can tell you those things, but we can't tell you some of the other things. So when I look at Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, I look at the fights, the opponents that they have faced. So right now, if I name Terence Crawford, who can I name that's going to excite me, for me to remember who he is? I mean, only thing you can say right now about him that he's been in 3 different weight classes, that's really what you can say. But that's it. So me personally, I think that Terence Crawford, he's going to find another C-level opponent if he don't fight Errol Spence. I think that's what he wants because, like you were saying, when he was still signed with Bob Arum, and I think was signed with Matchroom, David Avenesian and them, he had called David Avenesian trainer trying to make a deal with them when he was still signed with Bob. And then once he got with Black Prime, he called them. Well, he was supposed to be in negotiation with Errol Spence. He called them and made that fight. So my deal is he been looking for C-level opponents the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his whole resume, not the knocking, but it's all facts. His whole resume is based on the same level of opposition. So if we want to thank anybody, we got to thank Bob Arum and Brad Goodman, Hall of Fame matchmaker. Most people don't know who he is. that put Terence Bud Crawford in a position to be a multi-division world champion. You know, we can't sit up there and say, oh man, them guys racist. And no, they did the right thing for his career, or we wouldn't be talking about him and Spence in the first place. They
Yeah.
build him up, C-level competition, then a little B-level competition, and now it's like when you're supposed to fight A-level, now you're starting to back out of it. No, it's supposed to build you up like they did Tank Davis. You know, when he got with Mayweather Promotions, I think he was 11-0. They build him up, build him up, build him up, build him up. Now it's time for you to fight A-level now. You're going to make all the money, but now it's time to really, really cement your legacy. And I just don't see that with Terence Bud Crawford. I have to agree with you. His resume really don't speak to that, to have those memorable fights under his belt. You know what I mean?
I have one question to ask you. A hater told me to ask you this question, and me personally, when Terence Crawford moved from 140 to 147, at 140 he was undisputed. He had all 4 belts, and my opinion is that he had an opportunity to fight any of the champions at 147 since he was undisputed at 140. Now, I know people said that, hey, the WBO had mandated Terence Crawford to fight Jeff Horn. That's what they said. But then don't you have, now since you know the business, and I'm just asking you, could they go any other route as far as Terence Crawford and his trainer? Could they win another route as far as going to IBF or the vacant WBC or the WBA instead of going after the WBO when he moved from 140 to 147?
Absolutely. All you have to do is follow the rules and regulations of that particular sanction body. And most of the time, it deals with having an envelope. And so that's all you got to do is follow the rules, have an envelope with you, because you know the promoter or management, they got to pay fees. Now they got to pay fees. Now that's just the nature of the business. It's just the cost of doing business. But you don't have to go to the WBO route. Is it easier? Yes. Now somebody can say, well, where's the proof in that? The proof in that is what Spence did. Spence beat Brook, right? Kell Brook for the IBF. Now he didn't go keep on traveling down the IBF road. He said, now I want to get the WBA. Well, in
Yeah.
his case, he said, now I want the WBC. And then after he got the WBC, after he beat Porter, he said, okay, I ain't going to keep running down the WBC line. Now I want the WBA. So, you know, Crawford could have done the same thing after he won a WBO title. It's the same thing. He could have done the same thing. Absolutely.
Because what I was saying, like when he moved from 140 to 147, he was able, since he was undisputed, to actually go for the IBF instead of going to the WBO. Now, the interview that I seen, this is my opinion. The interview that I seen with Bomac, he said they asked him, how come when you moved up from 140 to 147, why did you not go the route of the IBF to fight Errol Spence? He said, because we decided to choose the easy route. So he was saying maybe it was easy for them to go the WBO route. But when you, like Roy Jones, he had the WBC belt and the other belts when he was at light heavyweight. The next fight, he went up to heavyweight. He fought WBC. Floyd Money Mayweather did the same thing. He was at 147. De La Hoya for the WBC, and he did that also in the lower weight class. So some people were saying that the WBO belt is the only belt to go to the next weight class and fight a champion. You can't do that with the WBC, the WBA and the IBF. And I told him that Floyd Money Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr. them did it just with the WBC. So I said, how are you saying the WBO belt is the only belt that you can move up or down to another weight class to fight a champion? I said, that's not true.
No, what Womack was basically saying when he said that was the easier route. Remember, 90% of the WBO champions are promoted by Top Rank.
That's right.
That is no secret.
That's
So
right.
so basically, what that shows you is that Bob Arum has a relationship with the executive committee and the president of the WBO, where he knows how to just pick up the phone and say, can my fighter fight this person and that person? And it's a done deal. It's no different than what Don King was doing when he had a relationship with Mauricio's dad, Jose Suleiman, over at the WBC. He can just pick up the phone. In other words, I don't have to wait in the line. I don't have to file all this paperwork. I can pick up the phone and say, look, I want my fighter to fight him. I already know what the fees associated with this are. Sign us up. We're gonna find a date in the venue, and it's over. That's what Bomac really means when he say it's easy, because
Yeah,
90% of the fighters from Top Rank, they WBO champions. Even
yeah,
Josh Kelly.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how
Yeah.
it is in business. It's about relationships and handshakes sometimes in the business of boxing. And
He,
that's
cause
why
he,
I always I'm
go
listening
ahead,
to you.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
That's why I always say when fighters want to fight in this business, it don't take a whole lot of extra stuff. They just go ahead and get it on. It's very simple. It's just very simple, y'all.
Because he told me that today, just before I got on your channel. He say, go on Manager Marty channel and ask him that question. And he said, after he give you an answer, go make a video about it. And I'm like, what is he talking about? I mean, that's why I wanted to ask you that question. So when I go back to him and tell him that Manager Marty said that he could have went either other route, any route he decided he wanted to. It's just the point, like you said, that usually majority of Bob Arum fighters have the WBO. There's nothing wrong with that. But the way the man was trying to, persuade me or have me to think that Manager Martin go say no, he can only go for the WBO and that's it. And that's why I said I'm gonna ask Manager Martin because I'm happy I know you because now I have somebody, I have an angel on my shoulder that can fill me in on any information that I need to know. And like I said, I'm not gonna hold you up too long, brother. I want you to do what you do. I appreciate you that you let me get on this channel, and I salute to all the members that's watching the channel and everything. And I salute to what's the chocolate. She I seen her in the comments talking about Manager Marty. Put detailed boxing on there. Put detailed boxing on there. So I salute to every last one of y'all with detailed boxing. Thank you, Marty.
Hey man, I appreciate you joining. Anytime, man. You welcome in my house anytime, bro. And I appreciate what you're doing for your content. And you're the one that's keep making me famous on your channel. Put my name in your title, bro. So I
I'm gonna
salute
keep
to you, brother.
I'm gonna
Thank
keep
you.
on doing it because I want you to go all the way to the top. You know why? Because you the real deal, and all these old artificial crab legs people out here that you get at Walmart, artificial crab legs. We need to make them boys drop down and put all the elite people that's gonna tell the truth on top.
You got it. And let me tell you something. If you don't make it, because I believe you're going to make it to the top, but if you don't make it before I do, and I make it on the top to the top before you, I can assure you, I'm taking you up there with me, brother.
Same thing, vice versa. Thank you, my
You
brother.
got it. Salute, bro. Anytime, man. Salute. Have a good weekend too, bro.
All right, you too.
Hey, man. I love interaction. I love interaction with good people. Now, somebody in the chat. Hold on. I got the. Oh, where they go at? Oh, here they go. Hold on. I got to post this now. I want to read this because I'm trying to understand what this means now. Loris Staten says, Marty, I came by for the live and you in D-Town boxing sitting up there talking and I can't hear nothing. Oh, I thought y'all oh. Y'all can't hear? Let me finish reading this. Hold on. I left a pair of these up here for both of y'all. I'ma spin a block. Okay. I don't know how to take that, but you did use my mantra, my slogan by saying you're going to leave a pair of these. But I'm gonna put the link back up here if I don't know what you mean. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you can spin the block. You come on up here. You come on up to talk to me and Jamarty. I ain't famous. Salute Aaron H. Muhammad. I see you in the chat. Salute to you. That's right. Hold on. Let me see if I can get that put that what's the name back in there for y'all. Type that link. Now while we doing this, y'all, let's talk about Wilder real quick while we have a few minutes. Deontay Wilder, he's having trouble with I guess finding an opponent from what other people are saying. I don't know if this is true, but these are reports that's out here that's saying Deontay Wilder is looking for um possible promoters to help him secure fights with other fighters besides an Andy Ruiz, because people are saying that Deontay Wilder is not being offered the monies that he believes he deserves to fight an Andy Ruiz. I don't, like I said, I don't have no sources in that. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's just what we have been told. And Mr. Pragmatic, thank you, said loud and clear. Okay, so you all can hear me loud and clear. So I don't know what's true or not. Thank you all for joining. I see you viewing right now. The numbers are increasing exponentially. Please feel free to like this video right now as you're live right here with Manager Marty. Let's talk about Deontay Wilder real quick while we have some time left. Deontay Wilder might be fighting Andy Ruiz. That's the last thing we heard before we start hearing about all this extra stuff about him allegedly trying to find a different promoter with regards to finding another opponent besides Andy Ruiz. I don't know if that's true or not, but I just want to talk about it briefly with you all because I think Andy Ruiz and Wilder is kind of like a reputable fight, you know, because they're talking about him fighting the MMA guy, right? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Somebody in the chat has pronounced his name Ganu. Is that how you pronounce his name, Ganu? An MMA fighter. I believe he's an MMA fighter. I really think that Wilder would do good with Andy Ruiz. Not saying he's not going to do well with the MMA fighter, but I'm just saying that's a really good fight, him and Andy Ruiz. I don't know the monies that's being offered or if they're in negotiations still or not, but I think that's a good fight, him and Andy Ruiz. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below if you're watching the replay of this live. In the chat, tell me what you think. If you want to join the stream, the link is right there on your screen. If you can't find it in the chat, you can just look right on your screen and come on up and holler at me. We're here live and live in color. I appreciate everybody who donated and contributed to the channel with your super chats. Thank you. Those of you who want to contribute and haven't done so already, I appreciate you as well. Those of you that are in the chat, I appreciate you. Those of you that are viewing this live, I appreciate you all right now viewing. So tell me what y'all think about Wilder fighting Ruiz or fighting the other guy, the MMA guy. Let's talk about that real quick. Salute to everybody in the chat that's acknowledging me. I see you. Salute. Let's talk about it real quick. Let's talk about it before we move right along. Yeah, let's talk about it. Look, while I'm waiting to see y'all feedback, I got to put the plug in the promotion. I will be on Knockout Boxing TV next Thursday on February the 23rd. I am scheduled to have a debate with someone who basically was asking me a lot of questions on Knockout Boxing TV's channel. And the question that they were directing to me were basically about Terence Crawford. And it was basically revolving around the whole Errol Spence and Terence Crawford impasse and the debacle of that whole negotiation. So I'm going to have to spin the block and go back on Knockout Boxing TV, his channel, his platform. And, hey, when they call me out, if it makes sense, I'll do it. There's other people that be calling me out. Other people be trying to get my attention on YouTube. I don't speak on it, though, but it has to make sense. I can't just be debating people just to be debating now. Because when I debate people, you're going to learn something. It's going to be education, but it's also going to be entertainment. You know what I mean? So, hey, let me put that little plug in. So tune in on his channel, Knockout Boxing TV next Wednesday. If you really want to see me cook like never before, I'm going to have my apron on. I'm going to have my pots and pans, and I'm going to get the cooking. And that's just what we do. So, I'm excited about that. And, tell me what y'all think about Wilder fighting Andy Ruiz real quick before we move on. I don't know if he left PBC or not. That's a good question. Somebody in the chat said that. I'm not really sure. I hope he didn't. Oh, man. Now, y'all better stop playing with me. Y'all already know that while y'all in the chat trying to talk about Wilder, I got to put the brakes on the show. I got to stop the show. My guy's here. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Stop the madness. My guy, Mr. Pragmatic, has joined the live. Salute to you, Mr. Pragmatic. How you doing, my brother?
Salute, Marty. Don't do that to me.
Man, come on, man. You're a big supporter of the channel, bro.
Yeah, I love the channel, but I wanted to say something. I'm sorry, I just woke up. But I wanted to say something about Adrien Broner. because let me see if I can. Because the guy came on before and he said, you know, he thought that well, first of all, I love your channel. You know I do. Love the channel, love the content. I love what you do because I love boxing and I love good boxing talk. I wanted to say something about Adrien Broner because of what was said about him before. And the gentleman came on and said that AB was bipolar. And, you know, you're making kind of a medical diagnosis and that didn't really sit well. He could be. Now, but I don't think so. And the reason why I say that is because I met AB. And I met AB at the very first professional fight I ever attended. And that was Mayweather versus Canelo at the MGM Grand. 10 years ago. That was my very first fight. I love going to professional fights. And he was there. And what I saw, I met him, talked to him, and what I saw was just like a kid. He was 20-something years old. He had won a couple of titles. He was wild. Wild. Now, he was the only fighter I didn't take a picture with because he had on a jacket with no shirt, and I just didn't feel comfortable taking a picture with him like that. But he's wild, and I think what's happening to him is he's not a world champ anymore, and he's not that AB anymore. And he had, you know, everybody looked at him as being the next Floyd Mayweather because Floyd had a great blueprint for him, kind of like he was on that blueprint that Tank Davis had, but for whatever reason, AB had no discipline. So I think, and he still doesn't really have discipline because he said he's drinking while he's training. So I don't know if he has any mental problems, but I know he has problems with restraint. And I know he has problems with alcohol because he said that. So I didn't like that whole thing, you know, because that's people will run with that. And, you know, that's all. I didn't want to be a downer, but that just hit me wrong. So that's it.
I appreciate your perspective, man. And that's why I said openly, I'm not a medical, you know, or a mental health professional, so I cannot diagnose the guy and say that. You know, I appreciate your perspective, man. And you're absolutely right. We don't know if he is or not. You met him in person, so you know.
Little guy too. He's little.
Huh? Yeah,
he's little.
Small guy. Yeah.
Little guy. You know, and that was before, a couple of months before he fought Maidana, and he was out of shape. At the Mayweather fight, he must have weighed at least 165 pounds. Big gut. I wasn't surprised when he lost to Maidana. I was not surprised at all because he was completely out of shape. So
you're right, man. And hey, man, I appreciate you joining. You know, man, anytime. But like I told you earlier, I didn't forget. You actually just reminded me. When this live goes off air, I'm going to send you an email. I want to share something with you.
All right, man. No problem.
Thanks for coming up, bro. Always a pleasure, bro. Thank you for supporting the channel as always, bro.
My pleasure, Marty. Thanks, man.
You got it. No problem. Salute. That was my guy right there, man. One of my biggest supporters on this channel from day one. He's one of my day ones. All right, so we got some stuff about Steppin' Chocolate Princess. Oh, of course. You are so welcome. You know I always oblige the ladies. So you are so welcome. Yes, and what it is she's thanking me, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew. She's thanking me for having detailed boxing on this live stream at her request. Just wanted to put that out there because that situation happened with Michael Irvin. You know, he said 2 words to a woman, and all of a sudden it got blown out of proportion. Women start lying on him and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes as men, we got to make sure we choose our words carefully. When I said what I just said, I'm talking about in a positive, healthy way when I say I oblige women. I'm talking about in a healthy way, positive way, you know. So I just wanted to be clear on that. So what's up? What's up with Andy Ruiz and Wilder, y'all? Let's drop something on that real quick, and then we're gonna move on. I don't want to hold you all too long. Let's drop on that. So I don't know if he left PBC or not. I don't know what his status is. He might still be with PBC. I mean, if he was just in negotiations with Andy Ruiz, I'm sure that will be a PBC fight because Andy Ruiz is signed with PBC as well. So we'll see. Let me see. We got somebody in the comment section talking about this. Yes, Creo the Traveler. Yes, next Thursday. The debate will be next Thursday. Okay, absolutely. Next Thursday. Manager Marty will be on Knockout Boxing TV's channel next Thursday evening. And I think that will be at 9:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 Central Standard Time. Okay. All right. What else we got here? Okay, well, let's move right along real quick. I don't want to hold you all too long this evening. Yep, I totally agree, Mr. Howard. Andy takes too many punches to have success fighting Wilder. Yeah, he does. He takes some punches. Yep, he does. He does. And he's been dropped several times in his career. Only difference is if Wilder drop him, we don't know if he's going to get back up or not. That's because he has a strong heart and a strong will. Andy Ruiz does, and so does Wilder. Let's say he drops Wilder. Wilder going to get back up, and they're going to get it on. I think that's a good fight. I mean, both of them are coming off of good knockout wins. In Andy Ruiz's case, he fought Louis Ortiz, and then of course Robert Helenius fought Wilder, and those guys can rumble each other. That's a good fight. Hey, what do y'all think about Michel Rivera? Remember, I did a live last Friday evening, and I spoke on performance enhancing drugs running rampant in the sport of boxing. Remember, I talked about that. Remember, and we see that this happened with Rivera. He actually tested positive, and he's an undefeated good fighter, but he tested positive for a banned substance while he was fighting Frank Martin. I think after the fight, in the post-fight urinalysis that he failed, it was from the fight that he just had a few months back with Frank Martin. And man, I was talking about this, and look what happens. I even posted the tweet from Victor Conti and how he's always trying to, alert the public and the boxing community of, PEDs running rampant in the sport of boxing. And so Rivera tested positive for a banned substance. And, it's so unfortunate that that happened. And Frank Martin still won the fight. That was the crazy thing about it. Usually when athletes in general are taking enhancement drugs or banned substances, they usually win the race or win the bicycle race or win the boxing fight, or win the football game or whatever the case might be. But in this case, Frank Martin did a good job against a guy who tested positive for a banned substance. Somebody's trying to enter, two people are trying to enter the live, and I'm waiting for one of them to show their face. But while the other one show his or her face, we're going to have my guy come on. And I got to stop the show for him every chance I get. And that's my guy, Mr. Aaron H. Muhammad, my brother. Always a pleasure. No, another day one of the Manager Marty channel. Welcome, my brother. Aaron, can you hear me? I don't know if you on mute or not, Aaron. Can you hear me? That was my man, Aaron Muhammad. I'm trying to see what's going on with him. Scorpion Kang 46 trying to come on, but I don't have a face or nothing for him, so I can't Can't let you on without that. Let me see what's going on. Okay. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Somebody's trying to come on there. Hold up. Mr. Muhammad, you there? Hold up. We gotta plug my man in. Hold on. Let me hold up. Mr. Muhammad, can you hear me, sir? Mr. Muhammad, you with us? Oh man, my guy having some technical difficulties, but hold on for a minute. Oh, everybody coming on. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody coming on tonight. Hold on. I don't know what's going on with my man. My man, Mr. Muhammad, trying to get him on. Hold on. Mr. Muhammad, can you hear me, sir? I don't know what's going on. Hold on, y'all. Trying to get my man, Mr. Muhammad, on. Mr. Muhammad, can you hear me, sir? That's my guy. I gotta have my guy on. Well, while we trying to figure out what's going on with Mr. Muhammad, we have Crown Jewel. We're gonna enter my guy, Crown Jewel. Crown
How you
Jewel, you're on
doing?
the Manager Marty channel, brother. What's going on with you, man?
How you doing, Manager Marty?
I'm doing great, sir. How about yourself?
I can't complain at all, man. I just want to start off by saying it's refreshing to have somebody on that knows what the hell they talking about. I've been watching you for a little while now. I pop in on your videos, and I'm one of them people that I was rocking with Blue Blood for a little while, and I never thought he was tremendously knowledgeable. But he was okay until he started dealing with Terence Crawford and BLK Prime. And at that point, you could see he had been bought and he became biased. And I was glad you got at him for that, especially a lot of the inconsistencies he spoke on. Um, I'm not as experienced as you, but like yourself, been actually in the fight game for a long time. I'm a former fighter. I'm a former trainer. I've managed fighters. I worked for the New Jersey State Athletic Commission at one time, and now I run a youth boxing program. So I've been attached to boxing since I was 7 years old. And like I said, I see a lot of these YouTube pretenders. To quote my man, Mr. Muhammad said they don't know a left hook from a fish hook. And that's true. There's so many guys that get on here are self-proclaimed experts and don't know nothing. So I just wanted to come on and salute somebody that I know has some substance and speaks from experience.
I appreciate that, man. And listen, you when you talk about the New Jersey Athletic Control Board, they know exactly who I am. Larry Hazard Sr., correct?
That's my guy, Mr. Hazard. Yeah,
Mr.
I've
Hazard,
known him since I was
Rhonda,
a baby.
Rhonda
Rhonda? Yep.
Herring. Rhonda,
Yes,
right?
yes, sir. Yup.
They all know me and they all license me as a manager. You
Yeah,
understand?
I just saw them. Well, like I said, I don't work for them anymore. I stepped away because I took on a fighter, and it's a conflict. You can't have a fighter and work for the commission. But yeah, I just saw them Saturday. We had a fight card down in Atlantic City Saturday. So yeah,
Let me
good
tell you
people, very
something.
good people.
Let me tell you something. One of my fighters was supposed to be on that card. You talking about the showboat in AC, right?
Hear you, somebody, man. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I'm talking about one of my fighters that I advised was supposed to be on that card. Are you referring to the fight in Atlantic City, the showboat?
Yup, yup, yup. Yeah, yeah. A couple young guys I
I,
knew since they was kids fought on the card, so I was over supporting them.
it was a packed house, I heard.
It was good show. That promoter, he's pretty new to the area for promotion. He has a gym in Cherry Hill, but it was
I
very
know him.
good for only his fourth show.
Oh, I know the promoter. I've been on.
Yeah,
He knows me very well. Alex Barbosa.
yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. Yeah. So I covered. That was the first time as a YouTuber that I actually covered a fight. Was his card the other night?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what's up.
yeah.
Listen, Alex knows who I am. I've done a lot of shows for the man. Let me tell you something. I was just telling a friend of mine this earlier about Alex. Alex, I love judging the amateur fights at his gym at TKO over there at Cherry Hill. Oh man, I love
He
his
gave
gym.
my guy
Alex
fighter of the
knows who
night
I.
last time we fought over there. I had a heavyweight fight there, and before he turned pro, he fought at his gym, and he got outstanding boxer for the night. Yeah, they do things class A.
Oh man, listen, Alex know who I am. He knows
Yeah.
who I am.
That's what's up. I know who
I,
you are now too.
Absolutely, bro. And listen, my email address is on my channel in the description of my channel. Shoot me an
Got you.
email, man. I want to talk to you about some things, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I appreciate
Uh,
you joining the stream, man. Much love and support, brother.
Thanks for adding me, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
You got it. Appreciate you, bro.
Later.
Yeah, that was for everybody. That was for. I'm trying to join this guy in. They're not letting me join him in. There's a gentleman that who wants to join the live stream, but they're not giving me the option to click him on. He sent me a private chat, and in the private chat, and he's still privately chatting me now. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, everybody. Okay, I'm trying to chat this guy. Um. Yeah. So anyway, he's chatting me, letting me know that they're not allowing him to join the live stream because is something wrong with his camera or something. He is the gentleman, according to what he's texting me in the chat, that actually asked Detail Boxing a question that he wanted Detail Boxing to ask me, and he said Detail Boxing um is misquoting him and he wants to come and clarify the actual question that he wants to ask me. So I would love for him to join the stream. But in the meantime and in between time, salute to the guy that just joined. You know, like y'all heard me say, I don't have to fake nothing. They know me in boxing. And so when people try to discredit and undermine my hustle, you got people here in real life that'll come on, and tell it like it is. Now how did I know the people that he knew, the gentleman that just got on here? Okay, I've done business with them. I'm trying to do more business with that up and coming promoter. He's a good guy. You know what I mean? So y'all gotta understand, man. I don't just be talking. I know what I'm talking about. And when if I don't know something, I'll keep it 100 and say I don't really know, but I'll find out for y'all. I'm not gonna never blow smoke up y'all, man. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. If I don't know something, I don't know. We human. We don't know everything. I'm not gonna act like I'm sitting in the back room when I'm not. Unlike some people. But we just here trying to talk boxing. You know what I mean? I'm having a good time this evening. How y'all doing this evening? Y'all all right? Because I'm having a good time. Let's get back to that PEDs thing while we wait for the gentleman to come back on to see if we can get his camera to work. What do y'all think about PEDs in the sport of boxing? Talk to me in the chat. Talk to me in the comment section. If you are watching this live on a replay, talk to me. Talk to me. Let me know what you're thinking. It's running rampant. It's not as publicly advertised, but at the same time, it's happened in the past and it's still happening now. Unfortunately, we have fighters who are not clean, and some of them do take supplements that they may not be aware of being banned substances. So I just want to make sure that we understand that I'm not saying that everybody who comes up positive is intentionally trying to cheat. But I'm just saying it happens a lot of times, in the sport of boxing. Post game says there's no space for PEDs in such a dangerous sport. I totally agree. Totally agree. What else we want to say about, PEDs in boxing? Clean cut. Salute to you. I see you in the chat. Thank you for your acknowledgement. I'm trying to see if I can get this guy on, but it's still not working, y'all. It's not allowing me. So yeah, I mean, T Ward in the chat says T Word, excuse me, T Word. I apologize for that. T Word says, I think supplements for cutting weight shouldn't be an issue. I agree. But there are some ingredients that are manufactured inside of some supplements. The ingredients itself may be the banned substance, or it might be on the banned substance list in professional sports. So it might not just be the supplements that you buy over the counter in the store or order online. It might be the ingredients that they're using that will probably give a fighter an extra advantage or an actual edge. All right, so here's the thing, y'all. Let me stop on the PEDs for 1 second because the gentleman is privately chatting me, and I want to make sure I do acknowledge him as a viewer, and he is a viewer, so I want to acknowledge him. And I think he's trying to ask me his question in a private chat, so I do want to give him a piece of acknowledgement and respect. Scorpion Kang 46 is not able to visibly join, but he says D-Town keeps saying Bud could have became the mandatory over at the IBF, which is not true because he's undisputed. It don't work that way. WBO let him go straight to Horn for the WBO. The IBF, he was going to have to GI. Oh, go. He was going to have to go through a ranking or IBF tournament, and plus Bud vacated the IBF. Remember, they wanted him to fight Lipinets. Okay, I'm trying to understand his question. I want to understand his question while we're doing that. Let's see if we can get my guy, Mr. Aaron Muhammad, back on. Mr. Aaron Muhammad, are you there, sir? You got to turn your mute button.
Can you hear me?
There you go, my God. What's up, man? Oh, man, that's my boy, man. Mr. Muhammad, he is a former music promoter. He's a former music promoter. He does a lot of music events and promoted a lot of music events, and he recognized the similarities between promoting sporting events such as boxing events and music events. And so he's always wanted to come on. And so I'm trying to let him on, but we're having some technical difficulties. But I'm trying to understand. Oh, man, it won't let me go back to that. Oh, the chat. I'm trying to understand what the question is that Scorpion King have for me. And we're trying to see if we can get him on here. Crown Jewel Boxing TV says some of those weight loss supplements are harmful to the fighters who's taking them, so they're banned to keep fighters from harming themselves. Great point, Crown Jewel Boxing TV. Very great point, and he's absolutely correct, y'all. I mean, like I said, some of these supplements have ingredients in it that's on the banned substance list. So not only will it cause harm to the other competitors or the other fighters, but it actually can cause harm to the fighters themselves. You know what I mean? So, it's all about having the right supplements inside of you and making sure that it's not on a banned substance list. And we got my guy. Can you hear me now loud and clear, Mr. Aaron
Yes.
Muhammad?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go, my guy. Man, you one of my day ones. You know you got the floor,
sir.
bro. Go on, speak on it, dog.
Hey, brother. First of all, I'm always glad to see your face on a live, brother, on Friday night or whenever you do your actual live.
Yeah.
But the thing that I wanted to address that you brought up that I think is very important with Mr. Wilder, that was an absolute rumor, brother, about him leaving the PBC. And it's consistent, brother, that there's an attack against the PBC and its success. Don't really want to go into the reasons why, other than, obviously somebody or some people have a problem with their success. And I just attribute it to being, if you can't match them, most people want to tear down what they can't duplicate. But at the same time, I'll say, let me know if are you able to still? Can you hear me, brother? I don't want to be just. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, man. Yes, sir. Speak on it.
Oh man.
We can hear you. You good. You good, Aaron. We can hear you, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting feedback on my end. I think it's just.
Oh man, well, I'm gonna pick up where he left off at. Some of the hate coming from other promoters. You know what I mean? And somebody already said it earlier in the chat, so it's not like I'm picking on nobody. We already see that Golden Boy Promotions and some of the executives over there has been throwing a lot of shots publicly against PBC, against Al Heyman, you know. And the thing is, like I told who I tell this to, man, I think I said it to YSM Sports Media. I said it on somebody else's platform. Man, I don't know if it was for Nine. Man, I was talking to somebody's platform, but I'll say it live here. One of the reasons why I realized that there's a lot of hate, and of course, Mr. Pragmatic, my guy, he alluded to the lawsuit. That's one. But the thing about it is that Al Heyman and PBC, they actually have the product. It's no secret. They have the product. And I made a reference about that even in a video that I published on my channel about De La Hoya and Golden Boy versus PBC, right? And y'all can go check that video out. And basically what I was saying was this, and I'll say it live in living color right now, is that the business relationship that Al Heyman had with Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy basically can be illustrated in this regard, right? It can be illustrated in this regard. It can be illustrated in the regard that Al Heyman had the cell phones, right? He had the product. He went over to De La Hoya as the promoter and made a business deal with Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy. And what he told Golden Boy was, listen, I have the product. You have the storefront. Let me rent out your storefront so that I can sell the product, the cell phones. They made an agreement. Long and behold, something happened where the agreement had to be dissolved because they had a falling out. And because they had a falling out, Al Heyman took the product, his cell phones, and he basically created his own storefront. And then he displayed his product, the cell phones, on his own platform with his own storefront. And De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions, they still might have the storefront, but they don't have the quality of product that Al Heyman presented to them in the first place. And so I equate that to Al Heyman having Android and iPhones, and De La Hoya and Golden Boy still have Boost mobile phones. And that's probably what this is all about, y'all. Mr. Aaron Muhammad was trying to rejoin the live. I don't know what happened, but you know, every time he tried to get on, I'm gonna let him on. All right, y'all. And so that's what I think is going on. You know, as far as the relationship between people being distasteful in their speech against, you know, Al Heyman and the PBC. Aaron H. Muhammad is back on live. Pick up where you left off, brother. We here live in living color. Speak on it.
Yes, sir, brother. That illustration you gave on the cell phones, I think is perfect. And, you know, it also speaks to when your product is not up to par with what's on the market and you see people leaving your product for the better product, then tends to probably create a lot more envy and jealousy than one may want to admit to. So, but in the case of Deontay Wilder, I want to make sure I address that. I think it's very important. And shout out to BFT Boxing, shout out to Fanon. They both have addressed that, the same rumor that was out about him leaving. And he did a video or an interview where he addressed it himself. And he basically said this, it is, here I am, I don't have to fight anymore in life because of what I was able to accomplish under the PBC. So again, you hear these hit pieces and things like that, geared to do one thing, Manager Marty, and that's take out the biggest competitor in terms of who's putting out the best fights, who's doing the best promotion. And one thing also I think is very important, Manager Marty, what other promoters or management companies are preparing their fighters to go into business for themselves when they decide to leave boxing? Al Heyman stands alone in making his fighters, giving them the ability and the know-how to do that. If they said tomorrow, hey man, I've had enough of this boxing thing, but I also have the ability now to set up my own and run my own promotion. We can't take that away from Al Heyman as we hear all the, you know, the things aimed at him for what he doesn't do, for who doesn't get paid.
Uh, those things are just obviously things that show a person's envy without, but at the same time hiding their hand. Um, if it were me, brother, if you and I were promoters and we were in competition, and you had something that I envy, you can envy something in a good way where I like, hey man, I really like the way Manager Marty does business. I'm gonna go and sit with my brother and consult with him. You know, I can probably learn some things from him. But what we see instead of that is we see people aiming all these rumors and really dragging a man's name through the mud and really have not heard any words spoken from Al Heyman himself. To me, that's another attribute to his strength because, man, when you can still move in the manner that he moves and still leave a successful track record and never address all the mess that's out there about you, hey, man, you know, I salute the brother. But, you know, one last thing, Manager Marty, about a former PBC fighter who I think will wind up back at home is Adrien Broner. I believe that Adrian is a victim of his early success, meaning not really knowing how to manage his money and the success that comes along with being a top level fighter. I think he was immature. I think his father played a role in his immaturity because he was also in his corner as a trainer. But I saw a lot of hype game and because it's flashy, it was a flashy presentation that Adrian had in the ring. Sometimes that's something that you can cheer a fighter on with that. But what I was paying attention to was things he was getting into outside the ring that obviously is now kind of pulling his career down. It's a heavy price sometimes to pay, brother, for success when you haven't been groomed in how to handle that success. And we see that a lot more on my side of the game, on the entertainment side, man. People are not really trained or taught how to handle that spotlight and everything that comes with that. So my youngest son, man, is a big fan of Adrien Broner. And I used to always tell him, hey, man, he doesn't have the right people in his corner because as talented and gifted as Adrian is, you shouldn't have to tell a man like that to let his hands go. Because we saw the effects of what happened when he let his hands go. So, sometimes you have to have people that know how to draw out and cultivate, our gifts. And sometimes that might be somebody that you don't like their method. We see fighters go through trainers and all this kind of thing because they may not be comfortable with their method. But my measurement is always the success of did what your trainer, his goal, did he meet his goal in bringing out of you as a boxer something that you couldn't bring out on your own? Most of the time the answer is yes. But, one of the things about when you get enough money to make you think that you're independent now, you tend to turn off the voices that are really in your best interest. But it's hard to go and train now when you're a millionaire. These things are difficult. And that's why I said we have to be groomed and we have to have people that know how to groom people who are going to be successful. I'll use this example. I'm gonna get off your line, brother Mark, because I don't want to take up too much time. LeBron James was groomed very young age, and you can see at a young age he was mature more so than some of his peers who were years older than him. Because somebody realized, man, you're going to be a superstar, brother, in the NBA. And he had enough people around him who were truly there to see him grow and not exploit him. That's not always the case. And unfortunately for a lot of people, they wind up on the downside and nobody left there to pull them back up. So with that, man, Manager Martin, I want to thank you for your platform. Thank you for opening a door, man, for somebody like myself. Just to, whatever experience I have, I'm a boxing fan. And maybe one day I might try to throw my hat in the ring as a boxing promoter. Who knows? But man, your expertise and the knowledge that you're putting out there, man, I think all the fans agree. It's needed and it's helping to purify the waters, man, of the information that gets out that's not true and accurate. Um, Fans find themselves, man, just like with the Adrian Broner thing and what he said about it. It was a misunderstanding with what he said about his pay uh, with the PBC. It wasn't that he wasn't getting paid; it was the method that Al Heyman was paying him. That he was one of those kind of guys. He wasn't worried about his money until it stopped coming. You know, another thing that has to be taught. And you're a money person, you know, man. When the money's there and you're not paying attention, you're just spending it. That's a recipe for disaster, brother.
Yep.
So, again, man, I'm gonna get off, man. I really appreciate you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing, and it won't be my last time, man. But I just wanted when I heard Deontay Wilder, and it's out there. You'll get a chance to see it, and if I can, I'll try to send it to you. But I don't want to use the word debunked, but he addressed it and he let it know. First of all, he asked, where did y'all get that information from? Because he didn't say that. He never said that he was looking for other management, and he never said he wasn't getting paid. So just know that that's a rumor, and there's no other person that can disprove it more than he can, and he's already done that. So, brother, good luck to you. Again, thank you for your live, and I'm gonna jump off and I'm continue to listen.
Oh man, salute to you always, my day one, Mr. Aaron H. Muhammad. I appreciate you. You're welcome, and thank you for joining us, brother. Thank you for sharing your perspective and your expertise, man. Salute to you, my brother.
Salute.
Um, yeah. Shout out to Jay Reddy. Thank you for your contribution in the super chat. I really appreciate it. And you know, while Aaron Muhammad was talking, right? Um, I thought about something. When Adrien Broner, getting back to this, because this is where he left off at, Mr. Muhammad did. Adrien Broner said that Al Heyman was using a specific method to be able to pay him his money to protect him and to ensure that he wouldn't basically scoundrel all of his money out. Guess what I thought about while Mr. Aaron Muhammad was talking? Remember that Reebok deal that Allen Iverson has? You know that Reebok deal, they said, you're going to get paid your money now. This is the deal that you signed for. It's a very highly lucrative deal. But we don't want to give it to you all at once because we don't want you to blow it all. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up some sort of trust to be able to say when you turn a specific age, the money will unlock itself and you will have full access to it so that you won't have this kind of money prematurely and mess it up. And I think that's something that maybe uh, Adrien Broner was experiencing with his relationship with Al Heyman. And like I said before, in the beginning of this broadcast, if that's true of what Adrian said about Al Heyman should be applauded. He should not be discredited. And it shouldn't even be interpreted as Al Heyman owe him money or even try to stifle him of money. That is highly ridiculous. You know, he should be applauded. And so salute to Emmanuel 7 Lion says manager Marty's channel is a breath of fresh air out here. I really appreciate that. Every time you all salute me and acknowledge me, not just on my channel, but even when I come on the panels of other people's channel, or I just come on other people's channel and I acknowledge everybody in the chat and you all salute me, it does my heart very well because I'm glad that you all are getting the breath of fresh air of true knowledge of the business of boxing, a little bit of entertainment because I'm an entertainment guy too. And also just understanding that, you know, we all have one thing in common. We love boxing, right? We all love boxing. Some might like it more than others, but we all love boxing. And so I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate your comments in the chat. I appreciate your comments in the comment section on the videos. I appreciate when you like the videos, when you share the videos, when other content creators mention my name in their live streams and in their videos and in their titles and stuff. I like stuff like that, you know. And the reason why I like it is because I'm not doing this for fame, y'all. It's not important to me. The reason why I like it is because the education is reverberating. The education is reverberating all across the boxing community. And so anytime, excuse me, you have a platform that can provide knowledge of the business, that's a breath of fresh air, not just for you all the fans now. I have professional boxers and athletes that watch the channel. They may not like chat in the chat, like on live and all that. They might not even comment on the videos, but some of them reach out to me, DMing me and emailing me, or if they see me in person. You know, speaking of that, this person isn't a famous person, but I was in, we call it the Poppy Store here in Philly, and people call it the Bodega in New York, I think. We call it the Bodega too sometime in Philly, but like the Puerto Rican corner stores, right? I was with a good homie of mine, and him and we was chilling together, and we pulled over at this Poppy Store, and I was just going there to grab a water and a juice for him, and we were just going to rock out. And as soon as I walked in the store, a patron, a guy who was at the counter paying for his items, he saw me and said, "Manager Marty." And we in Philly, y'all. Sometimes when somebody call your name, you don't know it's for a good reason or a bad reason. You know what I mean? But it was for a good reason. And as soon as he acknowledged me, he said, "Manager Marty." And I turned around, and this guy, he had his hand extended. I shook his hand, and we started holding up the line for like 5 minutes, just talking. It wasn't really a lot of people in line. But my point is, we were just busting it up, talking about boxing, talking about the channel, just talking about boxing, you know? And I thought that was cool because I'm just minding my own business, y'all. I'm just going to the store to get some water, get juice or whatever like that. And all of a sudden, the random person who appreciated the education, that's where I'm getting on with this. I'm not talking about me and attention or fame. Hear me clearly, y'all. What I'm talking about is he was spitting back some of the information and education that he was learning from my channel. And like I always tell y'all, if one person, only take one person that'll learn something that you've never learned before, you've encountered my channel or a live stream or a video I publish, I like stuff like that. That does my soul very well. So me and this brother was busting it up. I told him, I gave him my word as a man the other day when I saw him in person, that when I do the live Friday, I'm going to salute that brother. And I want you to know, if you're watching, I salute you, brother. I told you I would acknowledge you. And so I won't hold you all too long. We're about to wrap it on up. If somebody else want to jump on the live as a guest, I'm here. I'm here. Good, bad, win, lose, or draw. I'm still here. We got a few more minutes left. I don't want to hold you all. It is Friday evening. I try to be very mindful of the time when I do this on Friday nights, y'all. Okay, and listen, y'all, check me out on Tuesday, because I'm gonna work on this. I'm looking at the analytics too, y'all. I'm learning this analytics stuff. I'm going to try to do a pilot live on Tuesday evening. So I'm going to try to do Tuesday evening and Friday evening for right now, before my schedule changes. I got a lot of stuff going on. But excuse me, I'm trying to accommodate this YouTube thing. I'm taking this YouTube stuff very seriously, y'all. I wanna make myself available for y'all. So Tuesday night, I'm gonna try to do something small to see if I can do a live and see how you all gravitate to that. Maybe there's an audience out there, according to the analytics, that will participate in the live on a Tuesday night. I won't talk about the same thing, so it's always gonna be fresh bread when you come to the table with me. It's always gonna be fresh bread, okay? So I'm gonna try to see what's going on Tuesday night. Come back on here on the live, and then Friday night. All right. Um, everybody's in the chat. Some people are still talking about Wilder, and I believe they're saying Wilder and uh, Ruiz. I think it would be a good fight, style wise. I think that's the fight that we're talking about. No, no, no. I'm sorry. That's not the fight. They're talking about something else. Joshua Clottey in his prime versus Spence. That's what they're talking about in the chat. Oh, okay. Good fight. Dodge J, salute. You might want to change the thumbnail. I scrolled right past your video. Oh yeah, Dodge J. When I put the let me tell you this real quick, Dodge. when I put the thumbnail out an hour or 2 or 3 hours prior to the lives on Friday nights, what I try to do is just put something together to show what we're going to be talking about, and then right after this live go off, I actually upload a more sophisticated or a better thumbnail to capture the attention of the audience. Okay, so I apologize for that if you almost scrolled past. I was just trying to put something together just to alert everybody that we're going on live in an hour. Uh, B Dog says Spence would beat Cloudy. That would be a good fight though, because Cloudy got a chin. Cloudy, man, he can rumble. I don't think his skill set though, like his skill set itself, will overtake Spence. But that'd have been a good fight though. Good fight, good fight. Listen, if there's nothing else, I want to make sure I don't miss anything. We talked about Broner several times. We talked about Davis. We talked about Wilder. Prayers go out to Tank Davis and his open cases. Prayers go out to Adrien Broner. I heard in the chat earlier, I saw this, but I wanted to make sure I didn't lose my train of thought earlier, but I'm going to spin the block. And I wanted to acknowledge that people in the chat were saying that it has been announced somewhere that Adrien Broner's fight has been postponed until April. Don't know who the opponent is, but I am going to confirm that this upcoming week. I got a phone call or two to make where I can actually just confirm that by a phone call. But I'm going to see if that's accurate. If it's accurate, I'm glad to hear that he won't lose a payday. He'll still be able to fight. But if not, we'll see what happens. But so prayers go out to Adrien Broner. Thoughts go out to him and his situation. Prayers and thoughts go out to Davis. Prayers and thoughts go out to Wilder. Prayers and thoughts go out to Rivera. Everybody we talked about this evening. Let me see. The guy is asking me questions in the private chat, and I want to make sure I acknowledge him. The guy Scorpion Kang 46. Also, Marty D-Town keeps saying EJ had a plan to clean up his side and get the belts. Well, didn't EJ start at 154? Then he fought Mikey, no belt. Danny, no belt, but it was strap season. Yes, Scorpion King 46. EJ, I do agree with D-Town Boxing. Um, Errol Spence Jr., that's who EJ is. Errol Spence did definitely plan to clean up his side. And the reason why I'm saying that to be true is because Errol Spence Jr. himself said that in multiple videos that, he can clear up his side first. And then I think you're referring to him fighting Crawford next. So yeah, I mean, um, yeah. That's true. The other thing is, yes, he did not fight Mikey Garcia for a belt, nor did he fight Danny Garcia for a belt. But let me be clear, with the fight that he did with Mikey Garcia, Scorpion King, the fight that he did with Mikey Garcia, that was a huge money fight. Okay, that was in AT&T Stadium in Texas, right? And Texas has a huge Mexican fan base, and of course that's the same state that Errol Spence is from. So that was a big money fight. But watch what happened in a post-fight interview after he fought Mikey Garcia and won. Guess who was standing inside the ring? Manny Pacquiao, and he called Manny Pacquiao over. Remember that? He called Manny Pacquiao over to announce that he wanted to fight him next, right? Now, let's take Danny Garcia. After Errol Spence Jr. fought Sean Porter, remember, Danny Garcia was there. He got in the ring, and Danny Garcia says, I want to fight you next, Spence. That's because that was already rehearsed prior to the fight, right? So you got to put those two things in perspective when you're bringing up both of the Garcias, Mikey Garcia and Danny Garcia, right? So even though they were not for belts, they were for big money. Now remember, he fought Danny Garcia in the same place that he fought, or the same location that he fought Mikey Garcia, AT&T Stadium. The only difference is it was a pandemic. In fact, I was at that fight when Errol Spence Jr. fought Danny Garcia on Fox pay-per-view. I was there. In fact, that was the same fight where I met Terence Crawford and had a brief conversation with Mr. Crawford and took a picture with Mr. Crawford, right? So, so just keep those things in mind. Scorpion King, when you bring up those you know two fights, because it's all about money in this business. It's all about money. It's not just about the belts now. It's all about money. Okay. All right. Now I'm about to jump off this live and let you all go. I thank you all for investing your time with me and your energy and just viewing the live, and I hope you all enjoyed yourself too. And I hope I said something that you all learned about the business of boxing that you did not learn before or did not know before. I hope you all was entertained. I hope my energy was there tonight. I had a very, very long week this week, and I had a very long evening. So I hope y'all enjoyed the show, even though I wasn't, I be getting animated sometime. I appreciate all the panel guests that came on the live stream. Thank you all in the chat. Randy Smith, thank you again for coming on. D-Town Boxing, thank you for coming on. Aaron H. Muhammad, thank you for coming on. Who else came on? My guy from Jersey. Man, man. I apologize if I forgot your name, brother. I told him to email me too. Oh man, the guy's a manager. He was a manager, a trainer. He knows Larry Hazard and them. Oh man, if you watching this, you know what your name is. I apologize for forgetting you, brother. But yeah, thank you for joining the live stream as well, brother. Hey, everybody, salute to you all. I pray and hope that you all have a great weekend. It's going to be, oh my God, thank you. Not Mr. Pragmatic. I will never forget his name, but I did forget he came on. Mr. Pragmatic, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much again for joining us. Man, I had a good time today, y'all. And I hope you all did too. I hope you enjoy your weekend. My thoughts and prayers go out to everybody viewing this right now live and living color with me, and those that will be watching the replay of this, and those of you that are in the chat, those of you who did not chat, but you're just sitting back, just watching me. I thank you for your viewership. And tune in on Tuesday night, y'all, okay? Tuesday night, I'm going to do a pilot to see how the viewership responds to me doing lives on a Tuesday night. So check me out this Tuesday night. And then on Thursday evening, I will be on Knockout Boxing TV to debate a person that want to talk to me about the Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford situation. 3 rounds of a debate, 3 rounds and 2 rebuttals apiece, I believe. So it's going to be very entertaining. I'll be very prepared for that debate. And then, of course, next Friday, we will be back here again. And I'm going to probably push the time back just a tad bit, probably around 6 o'clock, to make sure that we still have enough time to get out what we want to get out and still you all be able to enjoy, the rest of your evening and not be on here all night, with me and stuff like that. So I appreciate you all's time. Salute to everybody that came on. Salute to the gentleman in the private chat that's hit me up. I will call you. He dropped his number privately to me. So we're going to talk. There you go. I think that's my bull right there. Crown Jewel Boxing TV. I think that was him. Salute for coming on the channel, Crown Jewel Boxing TV. Salute to you, brother. And shoot me that email because I want to talk to you about some things, my brother. Hey man, this was all right. Listen, Tuesday night, come check me back out, y'all. All right, Tuesday night, check me back out. I might drop something tomorrow. We'll see because I have a fight to go to tomorrow evening. And then Sunday, I'm going to drop a little piece of content like I do on Sundays, all right? So I'm trying to increase my availability to make sure I'm being serious on this YouTube thing, y'all. Y'all know what I'm going to say. You don't have to take my word for it. Roll the tape.